Alrighty. Hey, welcome back. It's been a few months. You're probably the person I need to be talking to today after the announcement that we're all going to be locked up in Singapore for another 6 weeks. Welcome back, Andre. It's good to be talking with you again. It's been too long.
All in lockdown, me as well. My plans were to actually move out of Singapore a few weeks ago, and here I am stuck as well as almost anybody. So, guys.
So if you're joining us for the first time, this is my good friend Andrea from Futura. We've done quite a bit of work over the last year together in the social impact space, and I'm dying to hear what you guys have been up to. It's been sort of 4 or 5 months since we've really caught up properly. My apologies on that. I'm eager to get back involved with what you're doing. So give us a bit of a rundown of what's been happening.
Yeah, it has been actually intense half a year. What we've been doing with Futura, it has been somehow moving from the garage, we could say, into the real world out there, testing out things. Just maybe a quick brief about Futura to the viewers, if they don't know about us. Futura is coming up as an impact ecosystem. We know that there are many things in society that are not working well today, and we want to change things for good, and we want to do it in a very systematic way, I would say. And if we want to change the world for good, it's not just one thing, but it's a series of things. Is education, I would say, is jobs, employment, technologies, policies, voting system. A lot of things coming together. And Futura is an ecosystem where people can come and have all the tools, support that they need to go out there into the world and then do this change in a very organized, systematic way and connected, I would say. So if people want to see more about our missions, they can go on futura.com/missions, and there are about 80 plus different categories that people can take to make an impact, and all these categories are connected to each other. So it's basically creating a movement of projects, companies, and people that are going out there and changing the world. So, well, you know Sean this already.
I do indeed, and I tell you what, the world's a vastly different place right now than when we first started talking, and some of the initiatives that we've been discussing for a long time are just that much more pertinent and important now. So look, I'm really interested to, obviously one of the projects we had discussed probably the last meeting I was at was centered around setting up a job site to help people find work and an educational platform, and it's fantastic to see that's happened. So it'll be awesome to learn about that first, maybe. If you could, clearly there's going to be a lot of people watching this that are in fact looking for a job. So should we kick it off there, and then we'll look at some of the other things that you've got?
Let's see if I can share with you the screen. I will try now. Can you see it?
Not yet. Should be on the way. There we go.
Okay. So yeah, these one of the first projects coming out from the Futura ecosystem. It's called the Next Billion Jobs, because the idea and the goal is to create the next billion opportunities.
Andrea, when you came up with that name, what was it, about 6 months ago? I thought, my God, that's a lot. But the reality is, there's probably going to be 1 billion people looking for a new job now. So I don't know whether you're psychic or not.
I think when we were deciding the name, we were here in Singapore as well, right?
Yeah.
Nice time. And yeah, true. I mean, what we're seeing now with the COVID-19, I mean, US has been releasing data about unemployment recently. I think about 22 million people already have lost their jobs. And that doesn't include the jobs and things to come, or those jobs that were not official. We know that is probably another double of that number. And the other
So
thing is that,
So I mean, really, the biggie for me is I'm very eager. I've obviously had 20 years running various forms of recruitment myself. So obviously, I was involved in this a while back. I'd love you to talk us through how this is different from sort of other platforms that are out there, and why people should know about this one.
well, one of the differences of any project that is coming out of the Futura ecosystem is that all the projects are distributed organizations. What does it mean? It means that all the shares of the project, therefore the company behind, are going to be distributed among its users and contributors. Let's take, for example, Google or Facebook. Imagine a company that has 2 billion users, and all those 2 billion users are actually the shareholder of the company. And why do we want to do that? Because two of the biggest problems in society today are wealth distribution, so the way resources are distributed today, and access to opportunities, access to jobs, access to education. And with this platform, for example, we can actually tackle both these problems at once. Wealth distribution, if we can, now imagine a large corporation. The way it works today is that you have a very large bottom, which is the users or the client, the customers. Then you have another smaller but still large bottom, which are the employees, the average salary people in the company. And then you start to go up in the pyramid with mid management, and then top management, and then on top the shareholders. And this system is dysfunctional in the long term because it brings all the wealth and control and power and ownership and everything up to a very small group of people. And this is an issue. In today's world, we are seeing that the way wealth is distributed is actually pretty bad, pretty unfair, and is damaging everybody. Is damaging the poor people, and is damaging also the rich people. I mean, even the COVID-19 is not just an environmental issue, is a social economic issue. On the first place, it came up to be because people were trading wild animals. Or, I mean, that's somehow the general theory.
I'm interviewing the founder of an organization called Freeland. This is one of the more impressive people on the planet, in my opinion. He basically is pretty much the top guy on the planet who's out there trying to stop the wildlife trade. In fact, he's instrumental in. Oh, you did? Yeah. That'll be up the next couple of days.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So I certainly put you in the same category as somebody like that. I mean, I've seen how much work you're putting into social impact projects. So it's really great to see something like this up and ready now. So can you talk us through the sort of let's talk from the point of view of somebody who's looking for a job. How is this going to be different for them, so to speak, and then we'll move into maybe the employers.
To give a very clear example on actually how the Futura ecosystem works, and then indeed we can then talk about Next Million Jobs as a great example for that. So the first thing we said, yes, is distributed ownership. So that goes across all the projects, and that's already a very big difference. Can you imagine you jump on a Uber or Grab a ride, you get out of the car, you paid that $10 usual fee, and instead of going away just with a transactional approach, both you and the driver gets $2 or what is the usual commission to Grab or Uber. They get it as shares of the company. And this has a very, very big impact in the long term, because the problem today with the young generation and even people in the older generation is that they were not able to build enough assets to be protected in the current situation. And it's almost impossible today to build assets because salaries are not that high. The global economy is not at its best. The population, global population is growing, so resources are becoming thinner and thinner. It's very hard to build long-term safety and long-term assets. But now imagine a world where all of us, we are users of so many companies, so many products, and we could be also shareholders of those companies and those products. I take another example. Today you open Netflix, you pay $9, $10, $15 per month. You don't get shares, it's pure transactional. You get entertainment, you pay for entertainment, the end of the story. What we are imagining with Futura is a socio-economic revolution where each single project that you utilize, each single company or service, you get shares of it. So the goal is not to keep all the shares of the project protected just for a few small number of shareholders. It's actually the opposite. We want to share it among millions or billions of users. By doing that, we can change radically the wealth distribution in the world. But not only the wealth distribution, and here we go to the second point, which is control and influence. You see, today you have large organizations that they have billions of clients, and they can affect the life of billions of people, but they only make the interests of the shareholders, which are a few hundred shareholders, depending if the company is listed or not. While if the shareholders are the same as the users, then you will have companies that are making the true interest for the community and therefore for the world. And that's something that that is a big issue today. Large corporations are lacking transparency. We are seeing enormous environmental disasters carried on by corporations for the sake of the profits of few shareholders, and that simply shouldn't happen anymore. And by doing that, we want to move away from centuries somehow of speculation and competitions, and going into a world of collaboration where you have companies helping each other because the shareholders are basically the same people behind, and people like you, me, and all the other millions of people out there. So that's another key difference. One thing more that you can see actually already here is no transaction cost. And this is something that it can be easily underestimated, but the power is actually in the economics behind. So as you know, I've been in finance for over 10 years, so I had my fair amount of experience and positive and good, positive and negative experience in that sector. One of the things that I've seen that is really not working, it doesn't make sense, is that the current economies in the world are all based on zero-sum games. What does it mean for the normal people? It means that if someone is earning $100, someone is losing $100. So we are creating a society where we always need millions of losers to have millions of winners. There is no situation where everyone can be a winner. And this is a problem because it leads to a society where the smartest, the most corrupted, the people that can play the dirtiest will always be the winners, while the most honest and altruistic people will always be the losers. And all of these because it's a zero-sum game. So if you remove transaction cost, no interest, no commissions, nothing, you send 100 credits and you get, and the other person gets 100 credits, you can already start to reduce the impact of this. You're not solving it totally, and we can go into another discussion later on how we can solve it for the long term. But anyway, you're already creating a system that is not bleeding out cash or resources for the people. One real example, so people can say, okay, how this does it affect me? Okay, today if you have $100 and you use any service or platform out there for jobs, employment, education, whatever, you usually have commissions from the payment gateways, Visa, MasterCard, and so on. You have taxes. So the person on the other side has to pay 10, 20, 15, or 50% taxes, depending on the country. And even excluding the taxes, you then have platform fees. And all these platforms online, they charge an average of 15 to 35%. The problem is that if I have $100 and I pay a developer to do something, and I give him $100, he's going to receive $75, $80 in the best case after all these transactions. And then after he wants to pay someone else, he doesn't have $100, he has $80. So he's going to pay someone else, and that person is going to be receiving $64 if we take 20%. In just a space, a window of 5 transactions, 80%, 70% of the resources are gone into the platform or system, or out of this circular economy, if you want. And this is a big problem, because it's taking away regularly liquidity from the system. And if you take away liquidity, you're going to have lower transactions. And if you have lower transactions, you have even worse distribution for the people, for all the players. You have less innovation, because you have younger people not having the liquidity to get things done. There are many entrepreneurs in their 20s that they have amazing ideas, great knowledge of the technologies, but they cannot do anything because the market doesn't have liquidity. And the market doesn't have liquidity because taxation works in the same way as these platforms. So wherever there is a transaction, there is a loss of resources. And if those resources are not put back into the system, then liquidity disappears. And many of these online platforms, they're not putting those resources back into the platform, but again, it's going back to the shareholders' pockets. So it's damaging. It's damaging innovation, it's damaging liquidity, it's damaging the global economies. So not having transaction costs allow what we call circular economy, an ecosystem where people can have 10,000 transactions and there is not a single dollar lost on anything. So
Right.
Sorry for going all the long way.
No. I think you explained that really clearly and well, actually. I think the firm reality now is our current business models have many have clearly been proven to just not work. So I think the time for some change is certainly here. And no, you explained that well. So yeah, please go on.
Thanks. Another thing that we see if you can see it. Okay, another thing that we want to support with the Next Billion Jobs is not just, as we say here, it's not just a freelancer platform. We want to empower a socio-economic movement. What does it mean? It means that we don't just want to match offer and demand, but we want to study and identify what are the jobs that are the most purposeful and useful for society for the years to come. And with education, courses, and partnerships, being able to empower and train people to go into the right direction for the world. What the COVID-19 is showing us is that the world has so many entertainers, so many football players, and too little researchers or people in medicines or doctors or nurses. I mean, nothing against football players is a great job. I'm just taking an example that there is no global alignment today or no vision for where we want to see the world in the next 10 or 20 or 50 years. Is all left to the open market, to the free market. And that's one of the issues that we have identified with capitalism. Not that communism is better either, so we still have to find better systems, but is that the jobs and employment and the education is all driven by the current offer and demand. There is no real guidance or vision The problem with that is that by leaving things completely freely, you're letting a specific class of people driving that jobs and demand, which are financial people. Today's market, commodities, pharmaceutical, agriculture, anything, oil, is all driven by finance, is all driven by financial people, economists, bankers, large funds trading billions of dollars in commodities. The problem is that those people are good at making money, those people are good at speculation, but not really at driving our civilization towards a better future.
I mean, how? Sorry to just to jump in there. I mean, let's take our current situation. So it's exactly what you're talking about. I'm just sort of trying to get you to maybe condense it into something I can wrap my head around, because it really is the big challenge now. Exactly what you're saying. So we don't have a vaccine for the simple reason that the money required to be deployed to actually be ready for a scenario like this, you know, you know, an open market, pure capitalism, so to speak. There's no incentive for a private organisation to have gone and done that. So that, you know, that system fails us there. We also clearly don't have coordination at a governmental level globally to have pulled this together. And we have a bizarre scenario now of Trump withdrawing funding from the WHO, politicizing that with the initial of China. What you're talking about here, how are we going to solve a problem like that? Because clearly we have a scenario here where these coronaviruses have hit us on average about every 6 years at the moment. This isn't going away. It's with us. It's not going to change. So, you know, in your opinion, how are we? What are you thinking can solve this type of problem?
Well, I wouldn't rely too much on the government side, and this because again, like economists and financial people, politicians were not trained on the technology side or to solve problems related to other things that are not political. In this case, with the virus, the problem is not political; is beyond that. We're talking about biology, we're talking about virology, and we are also talking about matching the interests of large corporations, which is something very tricky. I was giving a lecture a couple of months ago at a local university, and we were discussing about, the lecture was on bioenterprise challenges and how young people could make a difference on that sector. And I think the open sentence that I told to these young kids is that from the perspective of large pharmaceutical companies, well, the thing is that there is no money in health, and there is no money in death. So, and I heard this sentence from a person working for a pharmaceutical corporations, and he told me, this is current situation as of today. Whatever we do, whatever we find, we need to match the financial interests of the company. And these financial interests then are pushed into lobbying towards politics. So if there is someone in charge and someone is sponsoring those his political campaign, well, if that corporation is a pharmaceutical corporation, it's very easy to link up all the things. And again, this because we live in a society today where the current financial system it does not incentivize good behaviors. It does not incentivize saving life. It does not incentivize being honest. Because if you're honest, you're going to carry on a very financially miserable life. So it's all connected together. If we want to change this, I think we need to start to redefine a better economic system, saying, okay, capitalism was a great way to create extreme innovation, competition, and create wealth, but it's a terrible way to distribute wealth and resources. So now we have to come up with technologies and solutions to say, okay, what can we improve? How can we reshape it? And something that the COVID-19 teached us is that if governments wants to take action, they don't need 20 years. They need days, they need hours. We also borders shutting down in a matter of days. We have seen new policies, new fines, new things coming up in hours. So we know that things can change fast if people are aligned. Now, I don't think that government will have the interest to change economic models. So rather than relying on that, I will rely more on the next generation of companies, entrepreneurs, change makers, people like you, people like me, people like Freeland, people that wants to make a difference. And I don't think we really need governments because, for example, if you start to distribute the shares again to all the users of any organization or any corporations, you're already solving the problem of wealth distribution, power, control, and real interest. If you had the largest pharmaceutical company owned entirely by 5 billion of users, you will know that that pharmaceutical organization is doing the best for those billions of people. And why they would drive it otherwise? It wouldn't make sense.
So are you talking, is this tokenized? I mean, how is the distribution of the ownership actually work?
Well, in our case, yes, we use blockchain technologies.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so all the shares of Futura and all the projects within the Futura ecosystem are tokenized. We use the smart contract on ERC20, which is the Ethereum protocol, to distribute shares legally. So it's government recognized, not in Singapore, of course. So it's legally government recognized, and you can have 10 billion users if you want.
Right.
Something that you cannot do conventionally, because conventionally, if you want to distribute shares to someone, you need notarize the things, you need lots of processes, costs, and operations that it doesn't make, it's not scalable.
Right.
And in most of the countries, the current system allows you only to have 50, 25, or I think in US is 499 shareholders at most, far from having 1 million or 100 million shareholders, unless you go public IPO. But if you go IPO, you are back in the old problems of having to make the interests of banks and shareholders, few large shareholders. So yeah, to answer to your question, yeah, is tokenized, and at the moment is the only solution that we have found. As soon as we can find a better solution, yeah, we will move into that. Otherwise, this works great.
Right. So I mean, there's a lot to sort of cover here. I think we can probably break it up into a couple of different videos. What I mean, do you want to sort of go through the specifics of Futura now, or should we look at the next billion jobs, or what's the best way to let everyone know exactly what we're up to here?
Well, maybe here for more.
One thing I was going to suggest is we'll obviously put another video together. There's obviously a lot of information for people to take in. So anyone watching this, if you got, there's links below to Futura, to Next Billion Jobs, here for more. Go and have a look at the websites, at the information, and put some comments below. Also get in touch with us. You can email either of us if you want to jump on a video with us. You know, let us know how you think you could get involved. We're very, very open to that. And obviously, any questions, you know, shoot them off to us. Get involved. We're trying to make these videos as interactive as possible. Most of you are locked up at home like we are, so you've probably got a bit of extra time to digest what is, you know, a lot of information, you know, different models, different ways of looking at things, but strongly advise you to really have a good look at what is going on here. I've been involved for a while. I know the caliber of people that you've managed to get around you is pretty amazing. And really, you know, maybe a year ago, some of your ideas for me were quite hard to sort of grab, to really digest. But yes, the world is a vastly different place, and yeah, a lot of what you have been saying. Here it is, staring us in the face now. It's certainly is go time. So,
and unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, tell us a bit about Here for More. This is also really fascinating what you're doing.
Thanks. Well, Here for More is somehow the socio-economic movement of Futura, the first movement that we are putting out live for the world to check it out. Actually, let me share with you. Let's see if I can share it. Okay. Futura.com projects for humanity. Okay, so this the Here for More page is public, so people can just go and check it out if they want to have more information. So it's a socio-economic movement that is focusing on 3 macro categories, which are civilization, happiness, and freedom, and environment. And to give even more clear focus of this movement, we are taking up education, disruptive economic models, decision-making, voting, and collective intelligence, and impact-driven innovation. So anybody joining the Here for More movement, and it's something public, anybody really can join. It will be focused on these 4 sub clusters.
Right.
People can join here and take action. They would be then relinked into a sign up, and then they can sign up on the Futura platform, where they can find other members, projects, groups, and more things to come. We're basically setting up like a virtual incubator or virtual accelerator for impact innovation. So yeah, and to make it even more somehow dynamic, we are launching a global challenge to officially promote the Here for More movement. And with this global challenge, we are focusing on, we're going to be focusing on 2 of these 4 impact clusters. So we're going to release the information in May about which 2 has been selected by the community.
Okay.
And there are also few awards as well. So the first prize is $5,000 that anybody can utilize for launching their project, making it real. Then they will receive 10,000 Futura tokens that they can use within the ecosystem to get access to skills, time, anything that's in the ecosystem. And it will also be a great occasion for learning, creating, and also building up a network. So yeah, briefly, this is what it's about. And yeah, with the Here for More movement, we really want to go global and starting to find people that says, I'm here for more than just making profits. I'm here because I want to make the world a better place. And then getting all these people together, connected. So, you know, so you put there the ingredients. When you have the best ingredients out there, then it's something will definitely come up of it.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, look, as I say, I think it'll be great to get this video up, let people have a look at what is on offer here. Please send us your comments. We'll put our email addresses there, and you know, you're more than welcome to come and jump on some of these videos with us and talk about how you or your organisation can come and get involved. It really is time to let as many people know about, you know, the huge amount of the good work that's gone in over, what is it now, to sort of 2 or 3 years you've been putting all this together.
True, absolutely, and also we are setting up. Actually, I can show you as well. If people want to join this platform, they can also find other members already. If they want to connect and start making an impact from, let's say, today, so they can really get to know other people and start making a difference. But yeah, we should have calls regularly so that we can share what are the current updates. And I've seen quite a few of your videos. You have been interviewing like really big shots, I would say.
I'm trying to. I mean, obviously, I was heavily involved with you guys. I've got you know, my crypto thing sort of consumed me for the last few months. But I'm really looking to, you know, obviously that is fairly integral to what I've been doing, learning as much as I can about the blockchain, the distributed ledger space. But also now, you know, the social impact work we've been involved in together is special to me. Obviously, with what's happened on the planet now, it's just so much more relevant. I'd love to get more involved in what you and the team are up to, and encourage anyone else watching this, especially you lot in the crypto space. I know you can be very consumed with trying to make as much money as possible, but take a look at what's going on here as well, and bring some of your talents across to this space, please. You know where to find me. Get in touch. So look, yeah, let's do that. How long are you in Singapore for? It's somewhat of a crazy situation that we can't actually meet in person. You're going to have to be on a plane to Italy in the near future, huh?
Yeah, in theory, my flight is on the 27th of April, assuming that it doesn't get cancelled again. So
I have a feeling it may.
Yeah, which is going to be very challenging. And anyway, yeah, I'm going to be in Rome, which now is, I think Italy is the 3rd country in the world with the highest number of virus cases. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that side of the world as well.
We had 1,200 new cases here in Singapore yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, not great. They've just announced they're keeping us all locked up until the 1st of June. So I'm a bit flustered today, as you can probably tell if you're watching this. That news just came down about an hour ago, just as we were about to jump on this call. So that's rather heart-wrenching, putting it mildly, but it is what it is. I'm fortunate to be in a 4-bedroom cell. My heart goes out to those people that are locked up in smaller places. It's just me and the cat here.
Very crowded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's tough times for everybody. I think the reality is we either realize that for the first time in human history, we've got something that the entire planet really needs to unite against here and work together and look at different ways of living. Whether you want to go down the route of running around thinking this is all to do with 5G or something else that clearly is Mother Nature biting back here, we've got to have a bit of a think about how we're doing things. I don't think the trajectory we were on a number of fronts was the correct one. So here's our chance to take a bit of time and have a bit of a think. And look, here's some great opportunities to get involved in, and what Andrea and the team have poured their hearts and soul into. So please check it out. Give us your comments. Get in touch. Would love to have you on some of these videos with us. There's something for everyone here. Whether you're just looking for a new job, and there's going to be a lot of you doing that, sign up for that platform, or whether you want to get involved in any of the projects here. It's an amazing team. I've met many of the people, and now it's time to really get this global.
Yes, well said. Great, Sean. Great
Yeah.
talking with you.
So look, let's give everyone a chance to have a look at all this info, and
Yes.
we'll do another video in what 3-4 days from now. We can maybe
Of course.
answer a few of the questions that have come in.
Let's try
Cool,
to
cool,
do
cool.